Another advantage in landing atop high ground is that the assault forces are unable to attack downhill. This decreases fatigue and speeds up ground movement. The enemy is given little time in which to adjust his defenses to the attack. In an effort to land behind the enemy, some of the troops are required to land on terrain where natural obstacles make it far from an ideal landing zone. But the men of the air mobile team are extremely resourceful and manage to complete their landings despite the hazards. Here, for instance, some of the troops must descend into the solid mass of tall jungle in order to take up a strategic blocking position. The descent is made with the aid of a trooper ladder. An air mobile landing, which has been slowed down by difficult terrain, is vulnerable to attack by the enemy. In this situation, it is vital to have suppressive fires placed on the perimeter of the landing zone by the fire support elements of the air mobile team. The artillery forward observer plays a critical role, calling in and directing artillery fire. Another triumph of the air mobile team is its truly remarkable ability to shuttle artillery through the air. In Vietnam today, most aerial delivery of these field pieces is being accomplished by huge Chinook helicopter sling delivery. New lightweight howitzers have been developed especially for this role. From these forward battery positions, the artillery can not only support the troops moving up in the field, but can cover the landings of other battalion-sized units at nearby satellite landing zones. Further support for the foot soldier comes from the Air Force. The Air Force counterpart of the Army Forward Observer is the FAC, the Forward Air Controller. Riding in Air Force spotter planes, the FAC can call in devastating jet airstrikes on enemy positions. The Air Force provides close air support until it can no longer attack the target without endangering our own troops. Spectacular though the air mobile team's assaults are, these brilliant aerial deployments would grind to a halt on the ground if the troops were not constantly supplied and resupplied with the many articles of war needed to fight the battles. Things like jeeps and water trailers and ammunition. Spot delivery of mail, communications equipment, small arms ammunition, and food is a vital part of every operation. Pure fresh water supplies are as important as food, due to the fact that natural water sources in Vietnam are carriers of disease. One of the most outstanding aerial delivery feats, however, is the constant shuttling in of tons of heavy shells, which are consumed so rapidly by the forward artillery units. Aerial resupply means not only materiel, but manpower as well. The Army Air Mobile Team's ability to rush reinforcements by helicopter and move troop units to keep up with rapidly changing situations on the ground has led to some of the Viet Cong's most crushing defeats. The enemy could not anticipate the reaction timing of this swift air mobility. Keeping the swarms of helicopters airborne so long and so often is made possible only because the team gives these aircraft expert maintenance on the ground. Checkups and inspection procedures are exacting and carried out according to a rigid schedule. After every combat mission, an inspection is made for possible damage. Another contributing factor to the capability of these helicopters to return so swiftly to action is the multiple fueling techniques devised by the team's ingenious support personnel. Inflatable rubber fuel tanks, flown well forward of the main airbase, cut refueling time to the bare minimum. No supporting role is more brilliantly and widely carried out in air mobile operations than the role of the combat engineers. They too take to the air along with their equipment and supplies to perform their key function of clearing the way for the fighting infantrymen. They not only give the troops ground mobility by clearing and building roads, but they erect bridges to span rivers and gullies in the underdeveloped provinces of South Vietnam. They further the team's aerial mobility by laying down metal runways and aprons for the big airlift and resupply operations. Another important mission of the engineers is the systematic, expert demolition of enemy underground fortifications, tunnels, and other obstacles. Once discovered by our ground troops, such enemy bunkers are never allowed to stand intact. Probably no feat of the air mobile team is as spectacular or heartwarming to the fighting man as evacuation of the wounded by medical helicopter. The swift removal of wounded soldiers from remote battlefields and aerial delivery to modern hospital facilities has cut combat fatalities to an all-time low. It is no wonder that this life-saving capability of the Army Air Mobile Team is one of the major factors in sustaining the morale and fighting spirit of the soldier. The special nature of the Vietnam War has called for application of the air mobile concept in ways never expected by the men who developed the system. Sometimes it may be the evacuation of the native populations of a remote Vietnamese village, which is suspected to be a base of operations for the Viet Cong. Or, more cheerfully, it may be a means to implement the program in which villages and hamlets are visited by the Army's civil assistance teams, bringing aid to the needy villagers through gifts of food, medical care, and clothing. In some of the more remote hamlets, the people have never known modern medical care, and this phase of the program is especially welcome. Where food is concerned, the hearty, wholesome meals fed to the villagers are a prime ingredient in the program. The hearts of many are won over through the gift of food. There is even entertainment to delight the villagers. These activities are just another example of the Air Mobile Team's remarkable versatility and scope of operation. The self-sufficiency of the Air Mobile Team is one of its most valuable assets. An example is the helicopter recovery of damaged aircraft. Since the wrecked aircraft is most often the victim of enemy action in the forward areas, these recovery operations are frequently carried out while the rescue ship